Steve. Good morning and welcome to the Cultural Studies Capstone Research and Thesis Forum. This is indeed one of the most exciting events for us every semester as we share the wonderful research and scholarship of the students in our undergraduate capstone thesis seminars. The capstone thesis is a scholarly research project that results from a course of study in the program, culminating in a year-long research process guided in our capstone courses. My name is Jaafar Aksikas, and I'm the director of the program in Cultural Studies here at Columbia College, Chicago. I'm also one of the core instructors in the capstone course this semester. It is my distinct pleasure to be convening this intellectual gathering today. On behalf of the program, I would like to welcome you all, students, parents, friends, family, professors, staff, and administrators, and thank each of you for supporting our students. The kind of hard work is the result of support from many people, and I would like to thank some of these by name. First, I must acknowledge our Cultural Studies program faculty, who teach, mentor, support our students every day. Their work is tireless, and we're very grateful. I want to mention one professor by name, Ms. Rebecca West, who has constantly supported, encouraged, and otherwise mentored our students at every step of the way. We're sad that she's leaving us after a 2-year lectureship in the department, and we want to thank her and wish her the best in every way. Thank you, Rebecca. Is housed in the Steve said, in the Department of Humanities, History, and Social Sciences. And we owe our chair, Dr. Stephen Corey, an acknowledgement today for all his hard work on behalf of the program and the department. Thank you, Steve. Our Cultural Studies Liaison in Academic Advising, Keith Lawson, who helps, supports, and works very closely with our Cultural Studies majors and minors. Thank you, Keith. We also benefit from the support of our academic administrator, Christy Delcargo, who has worked very hard to arrange this event, as always. Thank you, Christy. In addition, staff members Krista Rogers and Oscar Valdez and student workers assist us in so many ways and have our gratitude. I especially want to thank Oscar Valdez, who's with us here today. This is always an exciting event for us because we get to see the fruits of our students' labors. For many of them, this work is a profoundly meaningful stepping stone to graduate study and career opportunities. We are fortunate that our graduates have gone to wonderful successes in nonprofit work, in politics, in museums, in media production, in educational software design, in cultural organizations, education, and very competitive graduate programs. In all kinds of fields: history, education, African American studies, library science, public policy, anthropology, cultural studies, American studies, media and communication studies, and more. So we're confident in the future of our current cohort as well. We're proud that Columbia College has in the last few years emerged as one of the leading centers of undergraduate research and scholarship in cultural studies in North America. A few years ago, we were the first undergraduate program to ever host the International Cultural Studies Association Conference, with over 600 cultural studies scholars participating from over 30 countries and more than 196 institutions. As some of you know, we will be hosting the same international conference again next week. Actually, many of our presenting seniors will be presenting at that conference next week. Many of our own students also study abroad. We have had cultural studies majors and minors studying in Mexico, South Africa, Thailand, France, and the United Kingdom. Cultural studies is probably best introduced in this context as the intellectually committed, theoretically robust, and radically contextualist study of culture, where commitment to imagine a more humane, more democratic society has always been the desire of the field from its early formations in post-war Britain, and in the British, the New Left and the working class and adult education movements in the 1950s. In this sense, cultural studies is not just an academic discipline, it's also a political, intellectual project that seeks to construct what someone in the field called a contextual political history of the present conjuncture. Cultural studies deploys a variety of research methods and analyses to explore the production, regulation, distribution and consumption of cultural phenomena in their larger social context. Cultural studies understands culture in a very broad way, as a way of life, or as E.P. Thompson calls it, as a way of struggle, and encourages interdisciplinary perspectives and methodologies, and at the same time demands a rigorous engagement with cultural texts, practices, and forms of all kinds. All the presentations you're going to hear today, in different ways and to differing degrees, speak to these central methodological and intellectual commitments in the field. Now let me explain how we're going to proceed this morning. We're going to have two panels, there will be 9 presenters altogether. There will be 2 panels. The first panel we have 4 presenters, see? And the second panel is going to have 5 presenters. I will introduce each of the 4 panelists, and each of them is going to speak for 15 minutes. And after everyone has spoken, has presented, we're going to open it for discussion, comments from the audience. And after that, we're going to have a very short break, and I'm going to call on my colleague, Professor Anne Danko, the other core instructor of the Capstone course, who's going to introduce the second 5-person panel. After everyone has presented, after the discussion, we're going to have a lunch reception outside in the lobby. Please join us. We're going to, we have an interesting program at the reception as well that we're sure you'll find interesting. This morning we have an exciting program lined up for you, and you will get to hear, as I said, 9 cultural studies graduating seniors presenting their research theses on a variety of areas and topics of relevance to contemporary culture and politics, including contemporary gun debate, human trafficking activism, street harassment and the performance of patriarchy, women in sports, representations of sexuality in soap operas, the religious right in America, Burning Man, the over-medication of youth, and the Occupy movement.